So let me get this straight. You got flown to Dubai for 50 fucking grand
Correct.
to have a little jolly and a few cocktails and a kiki.
Correct.
And I got buck fucked by Nosferatu for €300.
Look, sometimes you win, you lose, and I win and you lose. But
At the end of the day, it is what it is.
and when it rains, it pours.
It was pouring for me that day. Fucking hell.
Yeah, well, look, I'll give you some tips after this episode, and maybe we can get you another $50,000 trip to Dubai.
Welcome back to In Bed with Jay and Josh. And today we're going to be talking about escorting,
Sugar daddies.
and all of the nasty, dirty stuff that OnlyFans creators and porn stars get up to other than content creation.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
So do you currently have a sugar daddy?
I don't have a sugar daddy. I've never had a sugar daddy. But if I wanted one, bitch, I could get one. No.
Period.
No, I don't currently have a sugar daddy. But I have some guys like that are fans on OnlyFans that kind of like, I don't know, have an Amazon wish list and they kind of just send me money when I want. So yeah. I guess a sugar daddy.
The thing with OnlyFans is that you can't even say the word meat.
Yeah.
Like you can't arrange anything on OnlyFans, otherwise you could risk the account getting blocked or banned.
Yeah, you had like people will write to me and they write MEAT. They're like,
Yeah, or M33T.
yeah.
Yeah.
And no, but actually, you know what? Like fans can write meat, but we can't.
We can't, yeah.
And it really annoys me because just if you are a fan, please do not ask to meet me because one, I am not going to meet you, and two, literally we could get our accounts banned. So stop doing that.
Yeah, it's risky.
Risque.
I mean, I've always been propositioned to do that type of work.
And have you ever?
And it's always been something that's quite
Intriguing.
alluring. Especially when you have guys that are willing to pay you tens of thousands of dollars just to meet you.
Yeah.
And I have taken that opportunity up once or twice
Have you now?
for the right price.
Yeah, for the right price.
It's never involved sex. It's usually been, I'll fly you out to Dubai, for example, or somewhere like that. And I'll tell a story for one of those experiences. I was in Europe and this friend of mine who's a full-time escort put me in touch with one of his clients because he was asking about me and was trying to get in touch with me. So I put up like a ridiculous price because I was like, look, if they pay me $50,000,
Yeah.
I'll do it.
No, fuck it. Like, you know what? Like, if you don't want to do those type of things, and someone like one of your friends like offers you like, oh, this guy, he wants to meet you, just fucking rack the price up. And if
Yeah,
they
and
say
the
yes,
guy-
they say yes. If they don't, they don't. You know what I mean?
And because it was referred through my friend and he knew the guy, he trusted him.
Yeah, you
he'd
felt a
worked
bit
with me for
safer.
many years. So for me, it was a much safer thing than just going into it with someone that I had no idea or couldn't trust. And I literally went to Dubai. He put me up in a beautiful suite at a hotel in Dubai for 2 nights. He didn't stay at the hotel at all. I saw him twice for dinner, and he was the kind of guy that was quite fascinated by the OnlyFans world, and he just really wanted to chat about the OnlyFans boys and my friends. And so that was a really good experience for me, and it was nice. It was fine. Like he wasn't sleazy. He didn't try anything on me. I was very upfront with my boundaries, and I explicitly told him that I didn't want to have sex with him or do anything like that. So he respected that, and it was a good experience for me. But there is a lot of boys out there that do it, and it is something that comes with this world.
Yeah.
And we couldn't not talk about it on the podcast.
No. Well, I escorted for like 5 years back in my porn, like studio porn days, because, you know, don't make enough money to survive then. So like you did it for, you know, because you needed to subsidize what you were making from studio porn, and that was kind of how you worked, really. It was the method of like making money back in those days, because studio porn would pay you absolutely fuck all. And then what you would do, I mean, what was explained to me from the porn stars, the stars in those days, they'd be like, you need to build up your profile, build up your like name, and then you can use that name to escort and get really good clients. And that's kind of how we used to do it back in the day. And 5 years and some wild tales to tell.
And I've been told from my friends that do escorting full time that sometimes the client doesn't even want to work or meet up with guys that do OnlyFans, and some people prefer to meet up with just OnlyFans stars. And more often than not, when it comes to the boys that want to work with OnlyFans stars, the bigger they are, the higher price they can fetch.
Yeah. Well, I find some of the there's some clients that are very what is it, like inconspicuous. They want to be low profile, so they don't want to hire any kind of OnlyFans boys or porn stars or anything like that. But yeah, I've had a lot of cool clients back in the day, and a lot of crazy clients back in the day as well. I mean, I've been taken to some crazy places. I mean, I went to Jordan once.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that
Were you
was
scared?
I was fucking terrified.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrified, and I did it all for $1,000 and a pair of Timberlands.
And you probably thought that was a good deal.
I thought that was a fucking brilliant deal. I was like, I'm rich, and I got a new pair of Timberlands. But no, it was crazy. Like, flew in to the airport in Aqaba. I think it was Aqaba or Amman or somewhere. Anyway, and then there was like a 2-hour drive down to. So I flew into Amman, 2-hour drive down to Aqaba, and so I got off the plane, and then like as soon as I got off the plane, this fucking golf buggy comes with like 2 of these security escorts, and I'm like, fuck, they know already I'm being arrested, I'm going to prison. And I was like almost in tears. And they put me in the back of this buggy and drive me all through the passport control and everything. And then I get like passport checked like separately to like all these people in front of the line. And I'm thinking I'm going to fucking die. But it turns out this guy just paid for me to get like fast tracked through the whole airport.
Right, yeah.
And then I got in this car, and like no one spoke any English. And I was like, oh my God, like terrified. And I was driving all through, like it was just like kind of desert, and then you see on the side of the road people just with like machine guns over there, just random people, machine guns over their fucking shoulder, and I'm like, oh my God, what have I got myself into? Because I knew nothing about the country, I knew nothing about like anything really, and fucking terrified in this car. And I got to this place, and then it was like this gated community, and you go in these gates, it's like desert and like just shacks, and then you go in this place and it's like these golden gates, and then they open and it's like this compound, and it has just mansions everywhere, and it's on the beach.
Wow.
And it was beautiful. And I got to this house, and this guy, I've never seen anything like it, seriously. It was the craziest moment. So the driver takes me up to the door, knocks on the door, and the door opens, and there's this guy. And I'd never met this client before, right? And he was literally like the Arabic Louis Spence. You know Louis Spence?
I have no idea.
Fucking dance. He's like an English dance teacher, and he's like the campest motherfucker you've ever seen. And he was just mincing around here, there, and everywhere. He was clearly like high as balls on I don't know what. And he could not string a sentence together. And he was like, oh my God. And I'm like, what? I was like, I thought it was like really like illegal to be gay in that country or whatever.
Like,
and
you're flaming.
He's a flaming fucking homo. And I was just like, I was looking at this driver who was literally like, he looked like Jason Statham, but the Arabic version, with these sunglasses on. He was like stacked like this, just stood there like this, and he was speaking in Arabic to this guy, and they started shouting at him because this guy, he was obviously asking for money for the drive. And this guy was too away with the fairies to even know what to do, like to give him money, whatever. And he was running around the house, and I was just stood there in absolute terror, like almost in tears, because this driver was shouting at him, and then he was just like squealing everywhere trying to find money. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I was just imagining myself in a fucking guillotine. Like,
I'm going to get shot or put in jail. End up at the end of a ditch somewhere.
And then I'm thinking, I did all this for $1,000 and a pair of fucking Timberlands. Like, what? Is that how much my life is worth?
Was the pair of Timberlands like a special request on your part? Or like
it was a special request on my part, yeah.
Oh my God.
It was fucking terrible. And then we spent 2 days there, And he was like, I want to take you out to like see the sights. And I was like, no, I'm good actually. We could stay in the house. And he was like, no, I want to take you out. And I was like, oh my God. And I'm just like walking next to this guy and he's just fucking
Mincing along.
mincing along. But like all the locals just seemed to think he was like an eccentric person. Do you know what I mean? I don't think anyone looking at him like he was a gay guy, because I think they just assume like it doesn't really exist, you know? And
I'm sure if you've got the money in those kind of countries, you can protect yourself and people look the other way.
yeah, I think so. I think it's just like, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
But I got on the plane home and I was just like, oh my God, thank God. I was like, I'm never, ever doing anything like that again.
Sorry to interrupt this gorgeous episode, but I couldn't help but say that posting nudes isn't a business strategy, but the ofbizschool.com is. The ofbizschool.com teaches you exactly how to turn your OnlyFans into a money-making machine. Marketing, branding, content strategy, make sense, and dollars. Sign up to the ofbizschool.com, follow the steps, and let's just say OnlyFans will be paying your rent. So if you want to stop struggling and start thriving, go to the ofbizschool.com. Trust me, your bank account will thank you. Now back to the episode.
There's a lot of horror stories from people that I know that have, you know, gone to meet a client and the client has either been high or hasn't paid them, or there's just been like a lot of things that go wrong with that type of work. And for
It's a scary business.
Like I would really struggle to put it on for a client and like perform for them.
Yeah.
And like that physical awkwardness that you get when you don't really want to be in the room or be sexual with someone. I just couldn't cope with that. And that's a reason why I just don't really ever see myself doing that type of work.
I mean, for me, it's just like a switch, you know, like if when I used to do clients, I would get in that room and my brain would switch off and my like penis.
Just think about the money.
Yeah, my penis would switch on. And it was kind of like the money was a turn on for me. And I just thought about
Money turns us on.
Yeah.
That's why we do this job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, you know, there was something that turned me on about, you know, receiving money. And that's what kind of got me through. And my brain was just off. And then I could just do it super easily. It's a scary fucking job sometimes because like a lot of people, like, you don't know what they look like. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. And then I kind of learned very early on, I was like, you know, when someone invites you to a travel lodge or a Premier Inn, say no. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if they're they're inviting you to like the fucking Ritz, then yeah, it's okay. But do not be going to fucking Motel 6, you know?
And were you ever on a website, or did you just get clients that would hit you up on social media?
I was on a website advertising it. But yeah, it wasn't really. I mean, I got a few from social media, and but yeah, it was mostly the website. But yeah, I stopped doing that. Like, when was it? Like 6 years ago, because it was just. Well, I started making enough money from OnlyFans where I didn't need to subsidize anything, so. Yeah, I didn't need to put myself at risk anymore, you know? And I wasn't doing studio porn. I was making a lot of money, so much better.
That's great. I guess people that do escorting full time, I can imagine that it would be hard to get yourself out of it because you can't really go from earning the amount of money you would get from escorting and then go work for a 9-to-5 job.
That's it.
And
I think
be satisfied because
yeah.
it's such easy, quick money, and you have the ability to earn, you know, tens of thousands of dollars every week.
Yeah.
So I guess like it is a bit of a trap.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people who are in that, and I mean, if you eventually save enough money to get out of it, then yeah, fair enough, and you can probably get clients that are big enough to give you that kind of nest egg or whatever. But yeah, I also know a lot of people that are stuck in it and stuck in the kind of drug circle as well, because I was lucky because I was able to kind of switch off and not have to do drugs to like actually do the job. Whereas I know a lot of guys, they have to do drugs to do that job. And a lot of the clients want that as well. Whereas I just very early on started to say like, no, I don't do that. Like if you want to hire me, then, you know, it's going to have to be like a sober thing. And then I steered it more towards like, trips, you know, like rather than, you know, one night kind of drug fueled things. I was like, no.
Like more of a boyfriend experience.
Yeah. It was more of like a VIP boyfriend experience kind of thing, which served me well. And but I know a lot of people get stuck into that. And it's just such a vicious circle because it's like, if you have to do drugs to work and you need to work all the time, then you're doing drugs all the time. And then you get addicted. And then it's just like, it's such a vicious circle. And I know so many people are stuck in that loop.
And there would be a lot of people that see these escorts on social media, living the life in these gorgeous hotels, rolling around in luxury cars, wearing designer clothes. And they think, oh, I could do that. That looks easy. But the thing is, like, it might look easy, but it's not a sustainable thing.
It's a fucking hard job.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
And you have to be on call at all times of the day and available to these men that are really just there to kind of like get off on you and then exit.
I remember going on a cruise with the guy and just, you know, you're stuck on a ship for 7 fucking days and you got
no way to get off.
And you've got this like pig of a man, you know, and just like, and you're just like, the first few days you're like, all right, I can do this, and then like 3rd day you're like, get me off this fucking ship, like I want to jump.
Yeah, you'd be like torturing yourself almost.
Yeah, it's wild. It is really wild. It's a totally it's a very crazy experience, like mentally, physically, everything.
Did you develop any trauma from that work?
I probably, yeah, somewhere deep inside.
If you really wanted to search
if I really wanted to search for it, I'd probably find it. But no, there was some sticky situations. But also, I had a really good time a lot of times as well. You know, I got like flown cool places, private jets, like first class. Went on some amazing trips. Like I went to Hawaii, stayed in the Ritz Paris all the time, New York, LA, fucking Singapore, everywhere. Like I've been everywhere for that. And it was, some of it was really, really good memories. And some of the people were like really, really nice people. And I mean, some I'm even like great friends with now. There's a few like that like help me out with investing my money, you know, because they're high up in that. And like investing money in my future and stuff. That we don't have a monetized relationship anymore, but they help me with like where I should put my money and
give me advice
and stuff like that, which is really cool. And so there's a few lasting relationships like that, not relationships, but a few lasting friendships where it's like not, well, we just text and it's not sexual at all. It's not monetized. It's just because they really liked me and we formed kind of a friendship and yeah, they like to help me with advice and stuff now.
I was in Barcelona a few years ago and one of my friends who's a full-time escort, he was asked if he could go to Dubai and stay at the Bulgari resort there. He asked if I wanted to come along. I think it was mainly because he wanted someone to come with him.
Yeah.
Especially because he hadn't been to Dubai before. So again, I named my price and the guy accepted and he flew us out to Dubai and we stayed there together. We were literally in Dubai for less than 24 hours.
Wow.
We went there, we stayed with him. We just had a few drinks with him, hung out in the pool, didn't sleep. We just kind of like stayed up and partied with him all night. And then he flew us to Mykonos the next day and never saw him again. So
nice.
There's been a handful of little experiences like that for me, but it's never been something that I've sought out. It's just always a friend of a friend kind of approaches me. And I guess because I do OnlyFans and I have that availability where I can just pick up and go.
Yeah.
And I guess I always fantasized about doing that growing up. Not growing up, but in your 20s, you kind of...
When I was 8, when I was a child, that's what I wanted to do.
But I'm sure other people can relate that you think that, you know, this man's going to come and look after you. And,
yeah, you also have that savior complex, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm always curious to try something, you know? Like, I'm never going to be like, oh, no, that's not for me. And that's, you know, too far out of my, you know, comfort zone. I'm always willing to give it a try. And especially in that was the first time I've ever done anything like that with my friend. And because I was with him and he kind of knew the game a little bit more, I just felt like I could be a little bit safer to try it out that way. And
yeah,
I didn't get hard the whole time. I'm just not that kind of person that could switch it on for anyone. I really
oh my God. I'm like, mine's like a light switch. I'm just like,
You
on.
are. You are. You're a machine.
It took a fucking years to like perfect that though, you know? Took years to learn to switch my brain off and switch my penis on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think if I really could be like that, I would be a fucking multi-millionaire by now.
Yeah. Well, what am I doing wrong?
You're obviously spending too much, babe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Living the good life.
Living the good life, spending
Yeah.
too much money.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for other people that would be considering paperwork?
Oh, yeah.
Run for the hills or...
Yeah, no Premier Inns, no travel lodges. No, I just think you set your boundaries and make sure you know what you're getting yourself into as well. Definitely, like, check out where you're going to be going for sure. And there's always, like, telltale signs that I found in their messages. You know, if they're being, like, derogatory from the get-go, it's, like, red flag. Do you know what I mean? Because they're going to, like, mistreat you. Do you know what I mean? Like, if they're being nice, speaking nicely, if you're going to get taken to a nice place, then yes, always ask for a deposit. So always make sure you get paid, you know, like 20% of the money that you're going to get paid for the trip or for the session or whatever. Always make sure you get that down before you even go anywhere, before you even start preparing. Because otherwise there are a lot of people that will promise you the world, promise you everything, and then they will just ghost you. And if you turn up at a fucking hotel and they're not a real person, like, and you've paid for an Uber or whatever, like, don't ever fly anywhere yourself. They're always get your flights paid up front. Yeah, don't ever get your hopes up as well. Like, if people are promising you a lot of things, never ever get your hopes up, because there are so many times where people have said, I'm going to fly you here, I'm going to pay you this much money, I'm going to buy you this, I'm going to buy you that. And all they wanted is a week-long conversation with you. And that is it, because they're literally probably just like a gross old man sat at home that has absolutely no money, and they're just trying to live this fantasy life. And it happens literally like 50% of the time. I would actually say 50%.
Or probably more.
Or probably more, because I mean, in my experience, it happens a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, this, you know, when I first started, like, oh my God, this guy's gonna like come to London, he's gonna buy me all this, he's gonna pay me like tens of thousands of pounds. And then it's just like, you speak to them for a week, you send them photos, you like, you know, that's what I used to do in the early days. And then you slowly realize that these people are just wasting your fucking time. So
And there's probably people listening that think, oh, I would never do that, I could never do that. But wait until you get a DM from someone saying, I'm going to fly you out to here and I'm going to pay you $10,000, $20,000. Like, not many people would say no to that. Like, that's a lot of money.
yeah, and it can be very enticing, and most of the time it is fake.
And everyone's giving it away for free most of the time to fucking gross old men,
Yeah.
or, you know, people that they don't really fancy anyway.
I mean, you
So
see
kinda
all,
think,
you see all
oh,
the
well.
Instagram boys on a fucking yacht, and you're like, they're not getting paid to be there. They're just doing it for the yacht photos.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
They're doing it for
okay.
the clout, they're doing it for the content.
I'm like, I can rent my own yacht. Thank you very much.
And especially the like since 2020, especially like the flex era, where everyone just wants to flex on social media. They want to be on the yacht, they want to be in Positano, they want to be in Capri, and these men know that, so they prey on that and they lean into that to try to like get these boys to do what they want.
Well, I took myself to Capri a couple of years ago. Had my own little trip. That was fun.
Who paid for it?
Me. Bitch. Paid for myself. I am my own sugar daddy.
Well, that's the thing. Like, these days, I'm like,
You gotta be.
I've realized, yeah, I think you gotta be.
Yeah.
But I've realized that it doesn't substitute hard work and really making sure that you are able to fund your own lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that I can go and spend, you know, $50,000 on a holiday, but that's okay with me. Like, I don't need to be spending that amount of money
Exactly.
to be happy.
The thing you
And
realize
I can
is
live
like,
within the means that I've got. You know?
yeah. The thing you realize when you're in all these fancy places is like, you quickly come to terms with the fact that, yeah, I'm here and I'm in the most fucking lavish suite and I could never afford it myself. But who am I here with? Do you know what I mean? I'm not here with someone I like. I'm not here with someone I love.
You're not enjoying it.
I'm not enjoying it.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, okay. You think you're going to enjoy it. And you're like, oh my God, this is an amazing place. And then like 5 minutes later, you're like, wow, this is really fucking shit because you wish you could be here with your friends or your family or wish you could be there having a good time and doing what you want to do.
And I guess that's why I wanted to try it out because, like I said, I always fantasized about that lifestyle, not necessarily about being a sugar baby or an escort, but the lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that's what people get trapped into. They think they're going to have that lifestyle, but then they get there and they're like, oh, this is actually not what I thought it would be.
This is actually really shit.
Yeah, this is actually really shit.
But, not knocking it, everyone, if
No.
it can make you a lot of money. And if you, invest that money wisely, it can be a great thing to do if you do it safely, do it carefully, make sure you take all the precautions. Oh my God, I'll tell you about this one time. So I was really poor. Back when I was with my ex-fiance, we were living in his parents' house in Holland, right? And we were both escorting, but we weren't really getting many clients. So yeah, me and my ex-fiance, we were escorting and we were living in his parents' house. We were poor as fuck, right? We were doing studio porn. We weren't getting that many studio scenes. So we were escorting, we were on the website, and we were usually doing it together. But one guy wanted me on my own. My ex-fiance was like fuming about it, and I was like, listen, we need the fucking money. I'm sure it was like 300 fucking euro. Yeah. So bad. And so I drove from Holland to Brussels, right, on my own. And I parked this hotel. It was a super fancy hotel. And I've never, ever been so scared in my life. Nothing happened, right? But the vibe of this guy was like fucking Nosferatu. Have you seen the film?
No.
Oh my God. This guy was literally like the human Nosferatu. I don't know. He was like
a monster.
He wasn't a monster. Like, he just had serial killer vibes. Okay. Like, right. He was really super tall, super like fucking long legs, like Slender Man. He was just sat on the end of the bed. His legs were literally like fucking 10 foot long, and he had really long fingers. And I think he was like Russian or something. Didn't speak much English at all. And I was so terrified. I went in the bar, like I walked in and he's just sitting there like this.
Oh my God, how
terrifying. And I'm like, should I just run now? Like, should I just run? And I went into the bathroom and I had to literally hype myself up. I literally splashed my face with water and I was like, you can do this. Come on, you can do this. We need the money. Oh, Daddy needs the money.
Times were tough, babe.
Times were tough. And so I went back in and I thought, what am I going to do if this guy's like an actual serial killer? So I grabbed a pen from the bedside table and I like slyly kind of slid it under the pillow because I thought, if he's going to come for me, I've got a pen and I'll fucking stab him in the eye. Anyway, he turned out to just be a really creepy man. And it was so... Anyway,
he turned out to be really lovely.
Turned out to be the love of my life. Old Nosferatu there. No, he turned out to just be a really creepy man. And nothing happened. And the pen stayed under the pillow. And I walked out there with my 300 euro. Spent 50 of it in petrol.
Well, on that note, I think we'll wrap it up.
Wait, I've got more stories.
If you want more stories from Josh, hit him up on Instagram.
No, if you want more stories, request another episode.
Yeah, we might do a part 2 for the rest of Josh's escorting stories.
Oh, God, there's a lot. Anyway, if you're going to escort, be careful out there, guys. Take all the precautions. Make sure you take care of yourself and take care of everyone else around you. And get your money, honey. Get them to pay a deposit.
Get that bag, baby.
Anyway, this has been In Bed with Jay and Josh. And we'll see you next episode.
Bye.
Bye.